Good morning. This is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, coming to you on on a holiday Monday. It's Memorial Day here in the United States. Um, Started off very wet, and we've had like torrential rain for the last couple of days. Um, but the reason I wanted to come on is because doing a real talk because I realised that I have suddenly, and I want to say certainly over the weekend, probably the end of the week, all over the weekend, I cannot stop crying, and which is highly unusual for me. So it made me interested in why. I mean, literally everything I watch, whether I watch any movie, makes a literally bawling. That's a British term. I think it's the same here. But literally, I don't remember crying as much. I mean, that sobbing, like you can't get your breath. My eyes. Um, but I realised it was coming from deep down, that it wasn't necessary. It something triggered it, and it's not stopping. So it made me curious because we all know that people say, "Oh, well, you're crying because because you've lost somebody." None of that is happening. Has happened to me recently, but I know I'm the sort of person, and I'm sure a lot of people are, especially those of us that have had trauma in our lives, that we tend to hold it all in. And I've talked a lot about how I literally protected my heart to the point that I had protected it so much that nothing could get in, but nothing could get out. And then the dragons really helped me several years ago, literally burst my heart open. And since then, I've felt that flow of happiness, joy, sadness. I could feel much better because I didn't want to feel anything. And a lot of us do that. And I still can revert back to that. You've probably heard me say, "Oh, I'm really good at that." Um, but this just feels like it's visceral, it's deep down, it's a release. So I thought, and I'm not a big one for Chat GBT, but I'm like, I'm going to ask Chat GBT, what is the spiritual meaning? I asked, can you tell me the spiritual meaning behind crying? I'm not going to read it all. I am going to post it on Facebook. So if you're on my private Facebook group, it will all be there. But I wanted to talk about some of these things because I found it fascinating. So it says many spiritual traditions see crying as more than just an emotional reaction. It is often viewed as a form of release. So here goes my voice again. Release, cleansing, or communication between the inner self and something deeper. The meaning can depend on situations, but these are some common interpretations. I think I'm going to go over my 10 minutes. Emotional cleansing. Tears can symbolize the release of pain, stress, grief, fear, or emotional weight that has been carried for a long time. Spiritually, some people describe this as clearing stagnant energy. So that's definitely me. This is stuff that I've stuffed down, like in all my 73 years, probably since my teenage years. Awakening or transformation. Crying during moments of insight. Excuse me. See, when I start speaking my truth, you've heard this is what happens to my throat chakra as well as the pollen. Crying during moments of insight, prayer, meditation, healing, or major life changes is something sometimes seen as a sign that you are processing growth or moving into a new phase of understanding. Then there's the connection to the heart. Tears can reflect authenticity and openness. In many spiritual paths, the heart is considered the center of compassion, love, intuition, and truth. Crying may happen when something touches that deeply. Excuse me. Grief and honoring loss. Spiritually, crying for someone or something lost can be part of honoring love and connection, not just sadness. Some traditions see tears as a way of the soul expressing attachments and remembrance. And I think that's me as well. And then relief after holding too much. So I'm going to put my hand up to that. Sometimes people cry when they finally feel safe enough to feel feelings, Spiritually, this can be understood as the nervous system and spirit coming back into alignment. So that really makes sense. Also, the card I pulled today was the Soul Star activation, which is up on my Facebook page. And that is this Soul Star, which is remembering who you are. So it all sort of falls in line. So crying is emotional cleansing, releasing pain, stress, grief, awakening or transformation. Crying during, we've done that, connection to the heart, grief, joy, attitude. And then then it says, explain random crying spells. Random crying spells can feel confusing, especially when they seem to come out of nowhere. Spiritually and emotionally, they're often understood as signals that something beneath the surface is asking to be acknowledged. Here are a few ways people interpret it. Emotional overflow. So it's built up, and then it's got to come out. That's those tears of... And then energy release. In many spiritual traditions, crying is seen as a relief of stored emotional energy, and it's cleansing. And then inner transformation. Unexpected crying can happen during periods of personal growth. When old beliefs, identities, relationships, or emotional patterns shift, tears may accompany that transition, even if you can't logically explain them, which I can't. Delayed grief. So I lost my mum has been gone about 5 years, and I didn't cry. We had a love-hate relationship, but as I've got older and can understand sort of some of those things are coming up for me, like I understand what she meant by that. I understand about that. She wasn't the easiest person to get on with. So delayed grief, the need for rest or care. Slow down, pay attention to yourself, stop carrying everything alone, that's me, or allow yourself to feel instead of constantly just functioning. And it says, spiritually, many people believe tears because you become emotionally hardened. See, I just said that. And at the same time, frequent crying can also have non-spiritual causes. Stress, burnout, hormonal shifts, anxiety, depression, trauma, grief, lack of sleep, and emotionally overwhelmed. And then I think lastly, just to remind everybody that it can also be the signs of severe depression, especially when you have those. And I've been there many years ago. I know I'm not chronically depressed, but just seek medical help. Don't say, there's not. Sometimes you've got to step out into the medical world. I am an RN by my training many years ago, and I do believe that there's a place for medication. It doesn't have to be forever, but often it was explained to me, and I mentioned this the other day, that when I had postpartum depression. So it was the first time I recognized depression, and my doctor said, have you got a year, 2 years? Because you will eventually come out of this. He was saying you're right down here, so you're going to stay down here and slowly you're going to come out of it. But if you take some medication, it's going to bring you up quicker and you're going to be able to function again. So I opted for short term. I just took it until I was feeling better, that I could function. Otherwise, I was functioning like I was in a tunnel. I had tunnel vision. I couldn't see outside of it. All I could see, I had a baby and a whatever it was, 22, 23-month old. And that's all I could see. And I literally just went from moment to moment to moment until somebody recognized that I was probably severely depressed. So it's a real thing, and all of the other spiritual reasons behind it are valid, but get checked out with a mental health professional. And sometimes therapy, doing some of the other ones I've talked about, EMDR, some of the other stress relieving things are really good. So just don't think, oh, I'm crying, it's because I'm just releasing. If it's chronic, then you really need to seek help. Mine has come out of the blue, but it also came up as a teaching moment for me as well, because I understand a lot about myself. I don't always know the answers or the solutions. So I'm bringing it as one of my real talk, because we all cry, we all are emotional. And I also think there's something in the aging process. There's something about I know, because we look back, I mean, when people talk about the 70s, I still think it wasn't that 70s and 80s. I'm like, that wasn't that long ago. And then I get the reality check that it was, that I'm an old person. It's like we go, oh, they're really old. And then you realize they might be your age or maybe younger sometimes. So I think my body is processing a lot, but I also wanted to say that there are many reasons that we have these periods of crying. If you don't worry about it. I didn't for years. I haven't cried in years. I really haven't. I will get emotional, but there's this stoic part of me, the British part of me, that goes, oh, no, we can't show tears. You can't show you're upset. Yet inside, I know I'm holding on to it. So that is my real talk for Monday. I've gone over, I don't know if you've caught this on Instagram, you might not get all of it. It's going up on YouTube. And excuse my voice, it is the pollen. But there's also this, when I speak my truth, it affects, doesn't matter. I've done lots and lots of work on my throat chakra. I will continue to do work on it. But what helps is to continue to speak my truth. So I hope you have a good rest. If you're off today, have a rest of, I'm hoping here in the northeast, it's actually going to brighten up a little bit. It's still chilly. So have a good long rest of your long weekend, and I'll be back soon.